Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing really well. Apologies once again for the background. The lighting was a little bit better in the last one. But yeah, as I said, if you want to come, there's a lot of people on these streams who want to come and have their say. The link is in the description now below if you'd like to do so. Link is there now. I'll put it on again. I'll put it on screen. There's a lot of you who, listen, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, I don't care. Come in and have your say. We can have a little bit of a chat. And listen, we're going to cap it to a certain amount so everybody can have their say as well. But, you know, we did this about, I can't remember how long ago. Maybe we were in the Premier League and loads of you were interacting and enjoyed it. If you want to come in, have you say, don't be afraid. It doesn't matter. We can have a nice little conversation about it. And please come in and have your say over the results today and Leeds United result. I'm really interested to hear what you say. Big A Plymouth says, we've been so poor. Ipswich bottled it now. Leeds are bottling it. Not one player standing up to be counted. If we get anything out of this game, I'll be shocked. That was obviously previous the game, which is good foresight, to be honest with you. Jason says, too slow in our build-up. The ref didn't help. Rodon at fault for the first goal. Not often we say that. Melee, poor position as well. Keen Jelly, presumably it's Keen. What is it? Gene Kelly. Not sure our recent history and fatigue issues have impaired us. However, attitude should never be questionable. Where is the spirit and fighting performance necessary for a true promotion contender? What I'll say as well, and yeah, once again, everybody, the link is in the description below if you've not seen it yet. If you want to come on and have your say, don't be afraid. It's all normal, all fine here. You could disagree, you might agree with me, whatever, no problem. But yeah, I think the big takeaway. Look, I know what is. I've not even logged on to Twitter after the game, and I know what's going to happen is. Don't be reactionary. We've lost one game in 2024. We've got 2 home games coming up. You can tell me in the comment section if that's literally what we're hearing. I can predict it. It's so obvious. Everybody's been reactionary. I would disagree with that. I really would. I think the form has been dipping now, if we've been honest, for probably around 6 weeks. We've been getting those results, but 4 wins. 4 points in 9, I don't think is good enough, to be quite honest with you. But we look at other, and the reason behind that, everybody, is because we're seeing what's happening with the other teams. The other teams are too good at this moment in time, and we've seen Ipswich not perform well, but get those 3 points every single time, really. And Leeds are not in a different stratosphere to Ipswich whatsoever. Leeds are in very much in the conversation. But today is a missed opportunity. Today's a massive missed opportunity for Leeds United, especially with what's happened with Ipswich. And the context is, everybody, if you take a step back and look at maybe the games that Ipswich have got coming up, home games to Watford and home games to Middlesbrough, you're expecting Ipswich to get 6 points there, really, minimum 4 points. And Leeds' next 2 games are also home games as well, of which just Sunderland and Blackburn, where we can't drop off now. We really have to be on it when it comes to performances. And I think naturally the fan base understands, and I get why everybody understands it. But everybody sort of is in the same stratosphere, really, of it being, you know, points dropped, and today when you're seeing Ipswich lose the game, which we all say every single time, they don't seem to lose games. They never seem to lose games in succession. That this was a big opportunity for us to pick up those 4 points, those maximum points, and unfortunately, that's not happened. Keep any comments in, everybody. Tim. Interesting point there, Tim, because you've said, how can we not adapt our game for Coventry away? Yeah, and I know what you mean there. I mean, you don't really, I don't think you massively should change your style or anything like that, really, when it comes to an opposing side. But I think as a manager, is it sort of like a ridiculous expectation for us not to be, you know, expecting maybe a little bit of a change when it comes to, I don't know, them playing 2 up front? You know, are we going to drastically change our style to that? Probably not. But when I looked at that, and I don't know how you can do that. Maybe you look, I'm not a manager. People come on here expecting me to answer those tactical questions, but we don't get many teams that come up against us where they have 2 very, very physical centre forwards starting and two centre forwards who can finish as well. I mean, you know, for a team who is top of the division or second in the division, third in the division, enthralled within that race. You know, when you're looking at Ellis Sims today, you know, when you're looking at Hadji Wright, Do you see a massive difference between those two and Pat Bamford? Do you look at those two and think, yeah, they're not on the same level as Pat Bamford? That's not a reactionary take at all. I don't think there is much between them. There is an argument as well that Hadji Wright on current form is a better player, or in general is a better player than Pat Bamford. But he's with Coventry, and our leading striker is Pat Bamford. This reactionary, he's not been good enough at this moment in time. So yeah, I think it's an interesting sort of look at it when it comes to Pat Bamford and his positioning within the squad. But I think now he deserves and he should be taken out of the side, to be quite honest with you. So yeah, we'll wait and see how that develops. But keep getting your comments in. Everybody, Ben Brown, ever the optimist, says at least we didn't drop further points from Ipswich. That is true, Ben. I think I was still seeing this at the start of the game, mate, where it was a lot of fans saying I'd take a point. I just think that's negative. It's really negative. You know, if you are who you are and Coventry are who they are in terms of the league table, you go to Coventry and you win. You go to Coventry and you win, and you're then on 89 points. Ipswich are on 87 points. Yeah, okay, we've not dropped many points when it's come to Ipswich. We're still at the same position as Ipswich. I think now you are probably going to see, I don't think Leicester are going to win 7 games in 7. I don't, but we've almost given them that advantage now, which is a shame, obviously, post the game that we've had right now. So, yeah, I think it's an interesting one to take into consideration. My man Tashin is in the building. Hello, my friend. It's a game that we've had right now. So, yeah, I think it's an interesting one to take into consideration. I can hear myself in the background. Hold on, I'll get this sorted for you. Hello, my friend. Have you got me on a separate video, mate?
I think I've got a bit of lag here. Right,
have you got me on better now? I can hear myself, Tash. Am I on a separate window?
Here we go.
There we go.
Now.
Better.
I've got this open.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I've got this open up on my laptop here, and then as it's got the webcam in, and also on my normal PC as well.
How you doing, bud?
I'll tell you what, one moment. Let me quickly, got a bit of echoing going. Right, here we go. So, obviously, we're all absolutely disappointed with today. And I mean, especially prime opportunity, but we don't take it. So it's kind of frustrating. And also, I think there's some players who just didn't bother showing up today, like Crete especially. I think there's some players who just seem to probably heard about the so-called interest from like the Premier League, other leagues, and some of them just can't be bothered showing up. Crete especially today. And how many times did Rutter lose the ball today as well?
Yeah, he was. I think, to be honest, Tash, like how the build up, so interesting. I mean, I don't know if you get as frustrated as me, mate, but when I'm watching it and I'm seeing how good our wingers are, it's almost like, why don't we? If you're getting like even Dan James up against Bidwell, if you're getting, I know they've got the Dutch right back who's very, very good, but so you get Cree up against him and you get Dan James up against Bidwell. I almost think in a foot race, there's going to be one winner and it's going to be our player. And I think to myself, that is one way that, or two ways that we can expose Coventry. I feel if Rutter's having an off game, I don't know if you agree with this, mate, but if he's having an off game, that's it. We can't really do anything there. And we're pretty thankful, really, that Rutter's had pretty much a 95% rate when it's come to quality games this season. I don't know what your thoughts are, mate, but I think we could really expose them out wide.
Exactly. We don't seem to do it, but don't do it enough, I reckon. And like you said, we're not doing it. We're not doing the switches like we used to under the Bielsa days. And you think out of all the players that can do the switch very easily, Ampadu switch it. He'd probably have that in his locker to do it. But yeah, we're just overly trying to persist with going through the middle, where you got like 3, 4, 5 players all ganging up on the Rutter as well, and then he ends up losing the ball. But also at the same time, we're having to go to. It seems we're having to go to Rutter so much because Cree's just getting marked out games. You got 3 players these days all marking, and also, I think we've got quite a small squad. We don't have any physicality whatsoever. Just all you got to do these days, mark Cree out the game. That's it. He don't do anything. And
Well, I
same
think
with
it's.
also, I don't know why we don't.
Tash, are you sort of noticing this from corners as well, mate? Are you noticing the fact that we're getting there can be games where we're getting 7, 8, 9 corners a game, and do you know what? It's pointless, isn't it? Just give the ball back to the goalkeeper. We might as well do, because we're not getting any advantage out of it, are we? Really?
Oh God, yeah. We've been crap from corners for several years now. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the promotion season under Bielsa, after even when Pontus Jansson had left, Pontus Jansson, he was the only, and probably Carl Bartley as well.
Yeah,
they were the only threats and also defenses from set pieces. And we have been missing Pascal in this with his presence as well, because he's effective from corners as well, as long as he's tapping it in like almost Ruud van Nistelrooy style. I call him Pascal van Nistelrooy, but we just don't have any physical. It's probably a combination of not enough physicality in the back, and also I don't think we have any decent set piece coaching, because I mean, even in the Bielsa season, that's the Bielsa promotion season, we only scored like a couple of corners. I think the one that jumps out in my mind were I think it was Ben White in the final game against Charlton, and not really thinking many others apart from that.
Yeah, it's tough, mate. I mean, how do you see it going forward, Tash? Like, do you see? I have this. I try. I mean, you'll watch a lot of the videos, mate, and I know you do. But I try eradicate the past trauma that I built up from 28 years consciously of supporting this club. But I just. It feels like at this moment in time that for 6, 7 weeks, these performances have fizzled out a little bit. Are you sort of on the same mantra, or do you think I'm being a bit reactionary there? Do you think that maybe that we've been good and maybe I'm not seeing it? Do you feel like maybe we're okay at this moment in time, or do you think that Leeds need to really step it up for these last sort of five games, really?
I'm probably even more reactionary than you are, Connor, today after today's performance. I mean, just so many players with just no urgency. I mean, even in those games where we haven't been great, we just at least like we were a bit more faster. Whereas today, we just looked like we hadn't even bothered to turn up. We just looked like we were just running on at half speed. I can't really see much of a way back. I think some of the players seem to have probably checked out now. And some of them seem to have checked out, getting the heads turned. I look at Cree, I look at Georgie losing the ball all the time. Maybe not. Maybe if we bring Yonto in, that might be a bit different. I think at this point, I think those players that don't want to be here next season might as well just get shifted now. If you don't, like Cooper said last year, if you don't want to stick around next year in the Championship, go away now, because at least I can trust the 49ers to at least shift them on for good prices, unlike Victor Orta, the charity shop. Come on, big fees for them all. Get money recouped. That also helps with the PSR profit or whatever the heck they'll be doing next year. And then go and get suitable replacements. We never replaced Pablo. We never replaced Samu Says. Some of Rutter's performances lately make him almost look not much of an upgrade on Aronson, the Rizzler boy.
I think we lost Tash there for a little bit. Tash, thank you so much for your comments there. And I think I heard Brendan Aronson, the Rizzler paper there, mate. And I agree with you on that one. Shout out to you, mate, for coming on. Phil's in the background. Phil, you need to get a device connected, mate, so I can see your face. It can't just be an audio thing. And anybody who wants to come in, just make sure we can see your face as well, because that would be good. I get my ugly mug on here all the time, so it'd be great if you could do. But honestly, come on, have you say. Tash is in a lot of the streams. I don't agree with Tash a lot of the time. Tash doesn't agree with me. Listen, if you want to come on stream, do so. What I want to provide you guys with is sort of an understanding that you can have you can say whatever you want on here. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm a fan, you're a fan. I'll be speaking to you in the pub. Or whatever. Just make sure your camera's on and we'll get you in the chat. Before we go to Ben, I've been right about Cooper, Bamford, far cannot been enough, and not been listened to one bit by a certain Leeds fan, and I've been told I have zero ball knowledge. I am right. Yeah, Sean. Farke is an interesting one. I'm not saying, look, let's not get too reactionary and saying Farke needs to be sacked. He's done a remarkable job, but I think, yeah, definitely needs to maybe learn a couple of bits about certain players, maybe. But you listen, we're not the managers, are we? We are the fans. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this develops. Phil, yeah, I think that's probably it, mate. You probably need to get a camera. Ben, how you doing, buddy? How's it going?
Well, mate, yeah, not too bad. Can't stay too long here, but
good to see you, mate. Good. It's nice to hear a voice where I can drive back to my heritage there, mate. I love the Irish.
No, mate, I didn't even get to see the game today. I was working and I just sat with the phone on Bet365 and I was just depressed as fuck. So I just had to hop on, I had to hear what you were saying. But see, to be honest, I just think we've been playing pretty badly since Swansea away. Like every game, I think like that game, even there, I think we were only look good because they just didn't defend. So the only team that plays a high line against us, the only team that we look good against. I know we win and then everyone thinks we're playing well, but we just have quality. Like that's all it is sometimes. But I don't know. I don't think we are good enough to break down any defense that sits back at times. Like it's maybe a penalty against Hull. It's like out of nowhere and like everyone goes, oh, we'll beat Hull, it's fine, but it's not really, man. Like, we're still really struggling. We got outplayed by Hull, in my opinion. Like midfield was gone. Like Andrew Morton running around everyone. So I don't know. I've been kind of thinking this is coming. Like my dad's a big Leeds fan. I've been saying to him for ages, like Coventry away, watch them beat us because they can sit back, sit in, and they'll just keep us out. So. I don't know. I just knew it was happening. Like I thought, like look, Norwich have won. Watch us bottle this, and I don't know, man. We'll beat Sunderland hopefully. But
do you know what it is, Ben? It does feel like I'm trying to get out of being this nostalgia merchant. I'm trying to get out of this constant feeling of like looking to our past, but I find it really difficult when we get into these periods and get like stuff like this starts to happen with Leeds, and it feels like I don't know what it is at the minute, but are you sort of in agreement that they're not fizzling, I don't think such, but there needs to be something that galvanizes them at the minute. I feel it has definitely drifted off a little bit, especially when we're looking at Junior Firpo as probably our best player in the past 3 games.
Yeah, do you know what? I think like our defense isn't really actually an issue, which is weird to say because we're so used to it being like the main issue. Look, it's hard because we play Chelsea and you see when a team when it's like an end-to-end type game, we actually look like a good side. But in this league, like when you look at Burnley last year, I know they got way less points and it's just a different league, but they were just getting those tight games. They were just like dominating, like chance after chance. And whenever it looked like they just got it done. Anytime I watched last year, don't get me wrong, we'll end up on more points than Burnley did, or maybe. But I don't know. I just think like every game at the moment, it's like you score early, maybe out of nothing or just one moment of brilliance. Like that Watford game, I thought we were literally awful. Like it was just scrappy at the end, and you get it back, and you're buzzing afterwards that you can salvage a point. Hull's the same, like Plymouth away, games like that, where it's just like we just fizzle out. We were never really fully controlling it unless the other team are just garbage or we're at home. And these away games, it's just been coming. I don't know. I just think for ages now, every away game I look at as it's just never a given, no matter what team we're playing. Could be Rotherham right now away, and I would be fully confident that we go and win, just because there's just I don't know something about us. I think Allen Road just sort of carries us over the line at times. So and individual quality, I don't think Farke is really. He's done well with the whole club. Like I don't know if you know like Charlie Allen. Like I would know him. I used to play football with him, Green Island, like near me back in the day, and I tried to get a shirt for my dad's birthday, and he was like, well, obviously he's on loan now, but earlier on in the season, he was like, no, like Farke's the whole club's different. We never train with the first team. Everything's changed. I like that, but when you actually watch it on the pitch, I just don't really think there's that much like tactical now. So I just think we have good players, and that's kind of it, really. I don't know. I think if we went up, as much as it sounds a bit stupid, if we went up, I genuinely would try to get rid of him as quick as possible because I just think we go straight back down with Farke. Genuinely, I don't know. It's not a fan of him.
Yeah, it's
definitely. Look at him in Norwich. There's no fight with Norwich. It's just down straight away every time.
Ben, I want to come give you a hug, mate. Where are you living? I'll get the flight over now.
Come over, Belfast.
No, mate. I'm not. Look, you. I mean, you'll have seen my video earlier on today, mate. I can't believe we've let this opportunity slip, and I'm completely sort of maybe in agreement with you with these long-term projections, and we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But yeah, mate, there needs to be an injection. There really does right now. I feel like we're a little bit flat, but mate, listen, we're going to be doing this on the regular, and make sure you get in, mate. So if we're doing this every week, I want to see if your projections are going to be right next week. But yeah, mate, thanks for coming in, Ben.
I can't predict anything, man. Bet365 tells you everything you need to know. It's just Coventry way. I knew we're losing. It was just a given. I don't know. It's their fan base too. All the United fans who just put on a blue shirt at the weekend when they play Leeds get away. You're like, oh, that can't stand.
Mate, you'll get it all in Ireland. Trust me. I live there, mate, so I get it all as well. So, Ben, it's been a pleasure. I might see you next week, mate. All right, cheers. Yeah, guys, good to see a few of you in. We've got Matt J coming up next. Listen, people, it's Bamford. He makes a slow. There must be a forward somewhere that makes for around 40 million. That can do a job for us. I don't think we can be affording 40 million at this moment in time, mate. Paul says, I just want to say one thing. If we don't go up, surely next season we have a great chance. Because, look, I think we're all upset with what's happened today. I think it's a massive opportunity missed, but maybe look, let's not go too hard, in my opinion, on the we're not going up. Still think there's a lot of credence to the fact that we might go up this season. Definitely, it's just a big opportunity missed this weekend, unfortunately. Matt, how you doing, bud?
Hey, Connor, mate, how are you?
I'm all good, my friend. I've got another better looking person than me on the stream. What's going on, bud? You all good?
Yeah, cheers, mate. Well, I thought I'd phone in. I don't normally do this sort of thing, but I've messaged you a bit before, mate. But I don't know today. I don't know whether to be. I'm gutted, obviously,
yeah.
But I don't know whether to be worried because there's still time. There's points left, or just is it a blip? I just felt today it's been coming. The last 3 games, it has. We're just too slow. The build up is slow. We look lethargic today, and I mean, that's the players. The second bit for me is I just don't get Farker sometimes. It's not working. So you've got to change it up. We've got the people on the bench. We've got the personnel to make that difference. And it's this, I guess it's this stubbornness that he has. And he's done a great job for us so far this season of just not changing when we need it. Talking about, I know you've talked about it a lot as well, but Bamford, it's not working for him at the moment. It has worked, but it's not at the moment. So just bring Joseph on, just bring anybody like that just brings that difference on, or a difference up front. And then if that person's not working, like Matto, just change it. Bring Bamford on later for something different if it's not working. We're at that kind of business end now for me where you've got to take risks and you've got to try things differently. Perot, I don't know what happened at the end. He's literally just scored of his right foot minutes before in a more difficult situation, and he just had to put his foot through it. I know he's left-footed, but he just had to finish that. That kind of pass back, I just threw my hands up. I couldn't watch it.
Matt, it's one of those moments. It's one of those clutch moments, isn't it? I was mentioning it on the fan reaction that it's one of those moments that if you're spending 10 to 16 million quid, because it's rising to that price on a striker, and that's what he was bought for, to almost get us into this position where we're going up. Really, that's what he was bought for, and you get in those positions where it's like, here we go. Joseph plays him in. He's got to score. He's simply got to score. It's okay scoring a penalty. It's all right scoring a goal when we're like I've said on the reactions where we're 2, 3, 4 up. It's fine. But I've not seen him get a winner for us this year when we've been playing poor. I've not seen him get an equaliser when we've been playing poor as well. And today was the perfect opportunity. He came on, made a little bit of a difference, and a brace to get us a draw today. You'd have been thinking, wow, how have we got away with that? But these are the moments that he's been brought in for, and we need to see a little bit more from him, don't we, when he's on the pitch, I think, today, Matt.
Yeah, and he's been in and out of the team. When he came in, he was starting. Other players have done better than him, but you got to think, okay, you may actually need to be an impact player right now for us, and to take those chances, because Bamford's not doing it. Kind of in general, just his whole play, he's just off it completely at the moment.
Matt, what do you think?
Yeah.
Do you? Because I'm interested from because Matt, me and you, because you'll get some, we get some comments and they think that I designed this, so I'm getting certain people on. Me and Matt have never spoken before. We've spoken on social media, but I've not asked Matt to come on. Matt's just decided to come on here because he's a fan of the channel. Matt, I genuinely want you to tell me, if you can, what upside do we get starting Patrick Bamford over Matteo Joseph right now? Just anything, mate. An attribute, it can be anything. Just that's all I want to know, because I don't know at the minute. I really don't get it.
I'm exactly the same boat as you, Connor. I don't get it. I just think Farker just seems to think about a game like 6, maybe 7 games ago where Bamford did something, and he's thinking, wow, he's going to do it again. But when is he going to do it again? What game is he going to do it? Is he going to do it, when we haven't gone up? I'm not saying we won't go up, but, back in the Championship. And then we're going to look back on those moments and thinking, why did we start him? I don't know, unless in training, as you know, Connor, maybe in training, players are smashing it.
Maybe.
It's actually a mystery. It is a mystery. It's this kind of, I can get loyalty to some respects because you have some good games, but now in the moment, the loyalty is looking blind to me because, as I said, this is the serious time now. We have to change things if it's not working. So I don't know.
No, I agree, mate. Do you want to come on next week, Matt?
Yeah, mate, if you have me.
I will, mate. Really appreciate you coming on, buddy. I'll speak to you soon, all right?
No problem. Take care, mate. Cheers.
Cheers, Matt. All the best. Yeah, some good opinions coming in here, everybody. We've got Will up next. My man, Will.
Hello,
how you doing, buddy?
How's it going? You all right?
Yeah, well, could be better, mate. Could be better. I need you to cheer me up. Give me some analysis, mate. That's going to make me smile. What are you thinking after today's game?
I don't know, mate. It's wasn't ideal because a couple of times now Ipswich have faltered and we've failed to capitalise, and it's I could really do with it. It's making it, it's really tense. I'd like to think would have been a little bit more comfortable, There you go.
Yeah, I thought, to be honest, Will, it was a performance where I don't know about you, Will. I get your take on the defence at the minute, and I know it's been a little bit here and a little bit there, to be honest. But today it was full strength, and I was looking at it and I thought, Jesus Christ! Every time in that 45 minutes, I thought we look susceptible here. We look a little bit vulnerable. Every time they came forward, they really put it on us with the starting strikers. And I don't know if it was just a lack of maybe, synergy because they hadn't been together for a while and it had been broken up a little bit, the defence. But I just think at the minute, and I was saying it to a couple of lads beforehand as well, that we look a little bit off at the minute. It feels, Will, that we need a bit of an injection of something. I don't know if you're on that same sort of mindset, really.
I mean, say full strength, is it? I've commented on social media to you before. I want Ampadu in the 6, and you're not going to get him performing to his 110% just by throwing him in for one game. He needs to be there 3-4 games to get in the rhythm, of playing in the 6. I want Strout back. I mean, if I could go on about the defence, I thought the defence, the back line today, what he set up, you can't complain about it. One thing I can say, like I say, Ampadu, I want him in the 6 ideally, but he doesn't seem to trust anyone else. You can't trust Liam Cooper, and I love Liam Cooper. I met Liam Cooper at Leeds Fest. I had a conversation with him, and I said, it's true about the Spurs game, and you tell him, if you don't want to be here, clear off. What a lovely, lovely guy. Give him the keys to the city, right? He's not good enough anymore. He's really not. What I can't get my head around is, what is Cresswell doing wrong? Because for me, Cresswell is a future Leeds captain, potentially. You talk about the aerial threat, when we've got corners, set pieces. Cresswell all day long. At Millwall last season, he's interview earlier on this season. Oh, I only score goals in my head. Get him in there. He's a big bull of a lad, I really think he could do it for us, but we're not the manager, and for some reason he doesn't like him, and I'd love to know why. I really would. I think Cresswell, given a chance, could be very good, but he won't give him a chance. So I don't know.
So is that the sort of improvements you'd make? Will would you look at putting Cresswell in now and then Ampadu in the 6, and then would you look at dropping maybe a Gruev? What would you do going forward to give us that injection?
The trouble is, it's a bit late now.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of need to know. We need to know what we've got now, and it's too late taking risks. So I totally understand with him. Yeah, keep Ampadu there, because Ampadu and Rodon do work really, really well. I think I would personally have Connor Roberts at right back. Firpo definitely a left back, because I've listened to you agree with me, and I've screamed at the TV for a long time now. Have we got a left back when that isn't injured or isn't? This is the longest Firpo has actually played, consistently and not been injured or whatnot. We don't have another left back. Byram's a right back who can play left back. And it's been a problem for the club for a long time. So the back line's always been a bit, iffy for me. So it's not. I think the back line has done a really good job. You can't deny this run we've been on since the new year. Wow, but it can't last forever. The international break. I could go on forever. There's loads of if, buts, and maybes that contribute to this loss. And over the last 2 or 3 games, I've seen us dropping, and I could see this coming.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, mate. Because I did a bit of I tried to give a bit of a rallying call, and I thought to myself, after I did it, I thought, have I gone a bit too strong there? Have I thought we'll definitely beat these teams on quality and caliber? But it's not how the Championship works, is it? The Championship is the most competitive league, really, in world football, and it's unpredictable as well. And quality and caliber can get you a certain way, but a certain distance. But you've got to really step up to the mark in terms of mentality, endeavour, energy, all those things that you can't really measure on the day as well. And I thought, to be honest with you, we started okay today, but as soon as Coventry got into the game, I thought to myself, right, they're well up for this today. They're well up for it. And I thought we were a little bit flat, I thought, after 10, 11 minutes, which you can't be against a side like that.
We had no plan B.
Yeah.
This season, it's been proved time and time again. If you come and play football against us, especially at this level, look at the Chelsea game. They play football because they're good at it. And it suited us, I think. It suited us, and it let our players shine. People always go on at me, oh, you're Leeds, dirty Leeds. We're not dirty Leeds anymore. That was 50 years ago.
I wish we were.
I do. I was talking to us in the pub tonight. Lad comes in, and he's a mate of a mate, Huddersfield fan. And I hadn't seen him against, since the game we played. And I'd had a beer, and I couldn't help but say, you dirty, effing and jeffing. Because this is the thing, right? If you play football against Leeds, I think we roll you over 9 times out of 10 all day long. Leeds don't seem to have a plan B. When teams go out and they go, right, hit them, go play 60s football, studs up, hit them. Because the refs, I'm going to really try and not lose my temper here. The refs are shocking. Today, what the hell is going on when Ampadu's in a headlock, the wind's gone, and he's still in the headlock? And then I don't understand football as good as you and a lot of other people.
No, you do, mate. You do.
I lose my rag when Ampadu and their number 9, I think, both got a yellow card. Why is Ampadu getting a yellow card? I don't understand it. So my point is, Leeds, when they come up against these teams, and Coventry did both today, they pressed us and pushed us, and we're up for it, and they also played dirty. Leeds they don't have a plan B, and I don't know if that's the players or Farker, but it's been our biggest problem this season.
I agree, mate. Well, can we get you on next time, mate?
Yeah, of course you can.
I like you, mate. I like you a lot. Yeah, we'll be back here next week, mate. But really appreciate you coming on, Will. Right, because I know it can be a difficult one getting yourself on these things. But yeah, really appreciate you, buddy. And maybe next week if you fancy it.
Yeah, I really enjoy the channel. I love a cup of tea and listen to the channel. It's great. Thanks for having me.
Top man, Will. Speak to you soon, buddy.
Yes,
See you later. Bye. Yeah, great opinions there. It's been some lovely opinions so far. But yeah, listen, you agree, disagree, get yourself in the comment section below. My man Scott, how you doing, buddy?
Well,
I think this is
yeah,
first
I'm not too bad,
interaction.
Connie, yourself.
Yeah, all good, man. All good. What's new? Tell me something I don't know about Leeds United, Scott. You're one of the.
Do you know what it is, Connor? I look at it today, and I look at it in the last few games, and obviously we've not been played well for a while. I think that's been covered, but I think we've sort of survived on our defensive ability and our defensive stability in games. Like even in the whole game, like we didn't actually concede that much XG if you look at the sort of numbers. But I look at it today, and I looked at it in the Watford, and the Watford XG wasn't too bad, but today I think we give away like a 1.8 XG. And you're never going to go away to Coventry and win the game 3-2. Like, it just is not a scoreline that you go in there to win. Like, I look at the sort of performance for a Sheffield Wednesday that we had there, and I look at that as a proper away performance with the way we played. But I just look at it today, and we're giving away goals that you just can't afford to give away in these games. And I think everyone's moaned about the attack and said the defence is okay. But I actually think conceding 5 goals in the last 3 is pretty poor. I don't know where you stand on that.
Yeah, I do, mate. I think it's 5 in the last 3 is pretty poor for where we were.
Yeah, exactly.
But today, Scott, like, do you know what it is, mate? You don't even need to like look at XG. Really, I think when you're just looking at the general game, I thought they were bullying us a lot.
Yeah,
and I don't think you've looked at a Leeds team really this season and thought, oh, they're getting on top of us here. But I thought Sims and I thought, right, we're all over Ampadu and Rodon. And I thought they were almost winning the second balls as well. Scott, I don't know if you agree with that, but if you're getting Sims and you're getting Wright winning those first balls and it's dropping off to O'Hare and then it's dropping off to Palmer, and we're not predicting that whatsoever with their physicality up top, they're obviously going to play that long ball. You got Bidwell, you got the Dutch lad on the other side as well, pinging those balls inconsistently. It's a horrible game. You're almost getting neck ache from the ball being in the air, but it worked for them, mate. I think, to be honest, Scott, I don't know if me and you have had chats about Bamford before, and I don't want to get too much heavily into him, to be quite honest with you. But I'm trying to think. I'm not throwing my toys out the pram with this one, but I'm looking at a bit of a change now. Because do you agree, Scott, that there's been a bit of a downturn in the last 4 to 5 games? And I'm wondering, do you freshen it up right now with 5 games to go, or do you stick with the same continuity, even though it's felt a bit dimming at this moment in time? What would you do, mate?
Well, I actually think it's quite obvious because I think you look at the sort of form of Bamford, and when he first came into the team, obviously scores instantly, and he went on a bit of a run. I remember Cardiff away played particularly well, but then recently his form's just shot off a cliff. And Bamford off form is literally useless because he's never been a clinical scorer anyway. So it's not like Perot where he can have a chance and score. Admittedly, he missed one right at the end today. But when Bamford's off it, he is literally useless. And not just that, obviously, you've got Joseph and the performances he's putting in. And I just think it's a no-brainer, really. I mean, every single game, for the last few at least, Joseph has done more in the time that he's played than Bamford has in the whole game.
Scott as well. Leeds do more, mate. When he comes on,
exactly. Well, it's because he occupies defenders. When you're not occupying defenders and you're not bringing anything to the game. I mean, I constantly hear this. Oh, but Bamford's got a great hold-up play. The ball just bounces off him. Like, I know. He's like a bouncy ball. It just pings off. There's nothing. And he's so weak, and he doesn't. I know, like Joseph is sometimes too hyperactive and gives away fouls in areas. Like he comes on against Hornig, I think he gives 3 fouls away instantly.
Yeah,
but I don't hate it. Like some like at least he's trying to do something. Whereas I feel like with Bamford, because when he's off it, he's so passive in the game. He sort of follows him by. Like he's not even. He looks like he's not even mentally aware as such. And like there's times today.
I said this earlier on. If you're a centre back, mate, and you'll have played football, if you're a centre back, you'd rather come up against Bamford than Joseph, wouldn't you? All day.
Well, he's doing. He actually tries to actively make stuff happen. And I mean, I think for the goal, but Joseph's involved in a way. I think he passes the ball into Rutter. Obviously, Rutter does actually quite well, and stuff like that. You're not getting that from Bamford. It wasn't happening in the first half. I mean. Joseph gets on the end of that one in the first half from Firpo, by the way, the one that flashes across the goal.
100%.
Because Bamford's trying to stab it with his left foot, which is clearly a right-footed shot because you've got more time with your right foot to go onto it. And that's exactly a sign of a player that's just lacking confidence when they're sort of trying to force it down the strong foot. Like Bamford 2 weeks ago, or even 2 months ago, puts that in the back of the net. It's just, it's so obvious. But I think the problem you've got is that Farke's of the opinion, obviously, like you saw in his press conference, that well, you don't want to pin your hopes on a sort of a young lad to try to get promotion. It's not really fair on Joseph. But I think he's ready for it. I think that's what he wants. He wouldn't be putting him in the performances consistently like this if he didn't sort of take the opportunities that he's had. I mean, again, you look at the Chelsea performance. He comes in and he scores. What else is he meant to do?
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, it seems
and
obvious.
as well, Scott. If you're not getting, like, I'm looking at Joseph and I'm looking at Bamford as a pair together, and I'm thinking to myself, what downside are we getting here? Agility, I tick Joseph off. Sharpness in general, I tick Joseph off. Physicality at the minute, I look at him occupying defenders and I think Joseph ticks that off as well. The only thing I'm giving Bamford at the minute over Joseph is experience. That's it. I don't see, like, even when we're looking at goals, Joseph, when he's come on, he's done really well. So I don't see what we're losing. And I think there was probably a mistake, to be honest with you. And to be honest, Scott, I was getting pelters over it. I saw him, Scott, when we were playing Chelsea, and he scored twice, and he was unbelievable in that game. Yeah. I loved this performance. And then he doesn't play him for the next game, and I'm thinking, you've done that against Chelsea, and you've occupied two brilliant defenders there, or two, Premier League standard, very good Premier League standards defenders. Yeah. Why would you not then start him again? You take him straight out and give him. I don't think it was Huddersfield.
Yeah, but
sorry, I just think it's a bit mental to not be continuing with that. Really, it's a bit crazy. But
do you know when you mentioned Bamford's experience, you personally, what do you actually think we're getting out of the experience of Bamford? Because when I watch Bamford, he's not a player that involves the game in terms. He doesn't use his experience. Like, he's not helping the team and talking to the defence or talking to the midfield and how he wants it. What are we actually gaining from Bamford's experience exactly? I'm not sure. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, it's a solid point. I think the whole experience thing it's things that you can't measure. It's leaning on centre backs at certain points. It's maybe going down for an but it's you are right. You're right, Scott. That's the whole thing. If you actually broke down to what do you mean by what does that? Because he's older. Yeah. Because he's older, he's better. Yeah. I mean that if he's older, he'll be worse, won't he? Because he'll be less sharp.
He's not exactly like, he's not streetwise, is he, Bamford? Really, I don't think he's that sort of player. Like, I look at Joseph and he's sort of nudging people all the time and getting involved and sort of being a bit streetwise as such. I don't see that from Bamford. And then you go, well, he might be influential in the dressing room. Well, he can be in the dressing room. He's on the bench. So why do we have to start him to be involved? I do the experience thing I get with certain players. Like, you think he's a proper leader in the team and he's talking constantly, maybe getting in the ref's ear, stuff like that. But Bamford don't do any of that. So I don't quite know what we're getting out of him, to be honest. I really don't. And it's so passive. He's just a bit of a waste of time, to be honest, at the moment. But that doesn't mean that he can't be influential for the rest of the season. I mean, he might score every game at the end of the season. That wouldn't mean he's ready for the Prem, by the way, but he might do.
Yeah, you're on my wavelength there. Mate, I'm going to give you a message. I'll ping you a message on Twitter, all right? But thank you so much for coming on, mate, and we'll get you on next time, all right?
All right, cheers, Connor. See you later.
Top man, Scott. See you in a bit. Here he is, the man of the moment. The rationale. If I'm to say to you, I'm gonna bring a comment up, or I'm gonna try find it or remember it. Someone said to me, "Don't panic. It's 2024 and we've only lost one game." Sujal, when you come on, you bring me down from a level of anger that I'm at, and you can just mediate. What are your thoughts, mate? Are you gonna do that again today?
I was just as angry today. I was out with the family and I was plugging into the Ipswich result, and my son said, "Look, Ipswich are losing." And I was like, yes, we got to get this done now. And then, but I knew it. I knew in my heart of hearts, we're going to botch it up. It's just, it's the way we do things. I think I put a comment on your post-match and I said, we're going to, anyway. Yeah, but what, one half of me, I put a comment in earlier. One half of me is like angry, and the other half is, look, where were we at the beginning of the season? That's how I calm myself down. I keep telling myself, where were we at the beginning of the season? All these players were leaving. We didn't have a manager for ages, if you remember. Yeah. Then Fark came in and we drew. I can't remember. We lost one. We drew 2 matches, and we were off the pace. So I sort of calmed myself down with that. But yeah, it's this is the way we do it, don't we? We do this season after season.
So my friends say to me, like, I've got friends from various clubs in life, and they say, you're very dramatic, you Leeds fans. You've you've been in the Premier League and you've been, the upper echelon of the Championship for the past, obviously like 2 or 3 campaigns we've been in there. But I just think, I say to him, yeah, but the stress to get there, the stress is killer.
I'll put it another way. Would you have it any other way, though?
I think I would. I think
probably.
I would.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. We would have it some other way.
I think as a Crystal Palace in the Premier League, Sujal, 12th to 14th for about 5 or 6 years, that'd do me absolutely fine.
I remember when we got promoted, you said mid-season mediocrity. I'll have that.
Oh, I'd take it, Sujal, every day of the week, mate. But
mid-table, yeah.
But talking rationally, and obviously you've heard what everybody said so far.
Yeah.
What would you do, Sujal, from your perspective? You watched the game. What would you do to make this? Because I think at the minute, for probably around 4 to 6 weeks, we've seen a little bit of a drop off. Yeah. What would you do?
Well, I think you said it, and I agree with you. And you've probably seen my comments on your channel. Joseph has to come in. I remember him from when he played, in our under 21s, and he didn't look that strong. He really looks strong now. Bamford is just not on the pace, and I think you said it when we were in the Premiership, and the balls just bounce off Bamford. I have no confidence in this man. I mean, he's a nice chap, whatever. He talks well, and he's played for us, and he's scored some important goals for us. But the number of misses he's had, I have no confidence in him. So I think Joseph has to come in. Our defense needs to buck up again. I think we've won these 13 out of 15 games because our defense has been great. So that needs to be shored up, and I think some of them just need to rocket up there. We've got 5 games to go now, 6 games.
I thought today, Sujal, it felt. I thought Rodon and Ampadu, there was a physical battle brought to them today. And it was like, oh, this is the first time we faced one of these probably this season. And I thought they were boshed off the pitch a little bit, to be honest. And I thought it felt like it looked visually, you're looking at the game and you're thinking, why is this a surprise to you if you've been doing the build up for a week with these 2 strikers? But it felt like a real surprise. There was one point in the first half where you saw Rodon, it pictured to him on LUTV, and he was going, and he was blowing, and you thought, it's a bit of coming to age, maybe.
Well, I think we had a bit of that against Hull, right? I mean, Hull were right on it, and it's a kind of thing of let's say we get promoted. This is what it's going to be like in the Premiership, and then the question is, are Rodon and Ampadu able to cope in the Premiership? They both come from Premiership clubs. There must be a reason why the Premiership clubs have sent them down to us. So we may need a major overhaul again.
Sujal, give us a bit of positivity, because this is why I have you on, mate. Give us something. Give me something to make me just not cry into my pillow tonight.
Okay, there's 1 point between each of us. Yeah, we're 1 point off from Ipswich, and they are 1 point off from Leicester. Leicester have slipped up. They nearly slipped up today. Ipswich lost. So I mean, I think you said earlier in this stream, there's still hope. We're not out of it. Not out of it. I'd rather be in our position than be, let's say, in Coventry's position where they're hoping to get into the playoffs. We're definitely in the playoffs. Now, we don't want to be in the playoffs. It's it's a lottery, but we're still there. And just think back to where we were at the beginning of the season. We're not mid-table Championship. We are competing for promotion. So that's something, I suppose. And we have to give some credit to Foy. I know we scream at him, and he brings substitutes on in the 89th minute. And we're thinking, what are you doing? But he's still got us to where we are. So let's have hope. Keep praying. We have to have hope.
Can I be lucky enough to get you on the show next week?
Anytime.
So, Giles, it's been an absolute pleasure, my friend, as always, and I'll speak to you soon. All right.
See you, Connor.
Cheers, mate. Bye. Keep getting your comments in, everybody. Sujal, we've had a great number of people tonight. It's been really interesting as well to get your thoughts. Matt, how you doing, buddy? You all right?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I was a bit sick today, and that didn't really help the performance.
What time, mate? What time is it on over there? What time?
5:30. That'd be 5:30 in the morning. I mean,
remember those days, mate.
we've lost. I feel like we've lost the midfield battle again. Like the last couple of games in the midfield, I don't think we've been great. And I thought with Gruev coming back in, we would look better. But it just felt the exact same, really. And then when Gray goes into midfield, I think we look way better. So I think Gray should start in midfield.
Yeah.
And then you look at like the attack as well. I mean, Bamford. Bamford's probably one of his biggest fans, but he needs to come out now. I think Joseph has earned his start.
Yeah, I think so. I think so, mate. It's interesting you bring up the midfield battle. We've not really touched on it in the phone-in, really. I thought, I mean, I guess it's similar to what you saw with the front line. I thought every time Rutter got the ball, Sheaf was all over him like a rash, Ben Sheaf. And I just thought to myself, like, I think the frustration is, and I keep saying this all the time, Matt, I'm like a broken record, but it'd be nice if we were able to funnel the ball somewhere else where we actually have players who can damage the opposition. And it just seems do you know what it is, mate? If Rutter is an off game and our entire build-up is through Rutter, then what then is the plan? It seems, I don't know about today, mate, but I mean, I'm looking at Rodon, I'm thinking he's the only one who's proactive. You know, the midfield aren't really doing anything, and Rodon's the only one stepping into midfield and trying to get things moving a bit.
But how much have we seen this recently of like, it'll be the centre backs that will just sprint into midfield and there'll be no one to pass to because Rutter's, I don't know where he is, on the wing somewhere. Or even today, like whenever Rutter got the ball, especially in the first half, his passes were a bit off. Like he was always the wrong decision. And one thing I'm starting to get annoyed at is what we do is we keep going to Somerville and we're not going to the other side at all. Like we'll start bringing it across and then we'll just go back. Like Dan James is on the other side, sometimes open, and we just keep going back the other way to where Somerville is. And you think if we get to the other side, Dan James has the pace to beat a man pretty easily.
What do you think to him at the minute, Matt? What do you think to Dan James? It feels like when we had the competition almost of James and Nonto, either or were so good. But it seemed when James has come in and Nonto's not been that competitive element for him, it feels like it's Dan James of old, doesn't it? Like poor crosses. I know he scored the brilliant goal, didn't he, against Hull? But the 89 minutes against Hull, he was arguably the worst player on the pitch. Feels like he's had a bit of a downturn in form. It's the wrong time to have a downturn in form for Leeds United, isn't it?
Yeah. The thing is about like the team, I still think like I would change it up, but I don't know if Fark will. Like I feel like Fark will stick with the team because he trusts the players that have got him to this point. And the fact that we've only lost one game in 2024, he'll probably look at that more than the individuals. Like he'll say, oh, we've been good with this team, so we're not going to drop like a Bamford. Or sometimes I look at our team and like I look at the number 10 position, and when Rutter is having a poor, like there's no one to come in there. I mean, I guess Nonto could play there, but we don't know if he's going to be at the level. But when Rutter's ever having a poor game, there's no like, oh, you can take him off and then bring someone else on that could do a job. Yeah.
Are you sort of of the opinion that it's one loss in 2024? You know, let's not go crazy right now. It's one loss. Ipswich have lost today. Leicester nearly lost, dropped 3 points, or obviously they nearly dropped 2 points as well with the draw. But are you of that opinion right now? Or are you thinking to yourself, I've seen just a little bit? I think the whole pie right here, Matt, is that we've seen a few performances now where we're looking at it and thinking this feels like a little bit of a not a rut set in, but there's definitely been a downturn in performances, and I think that's what's worrying fans really. Do you sort of agree with that?
Yeah, I mean the last 3 games, Watford, we came back from 2-0 down. Was it like one or something like that? We weren't playing well, and then we had to make a comeback to actually win or draw. And then against Hull, they had most of the ball and they were probably the better team. They deserve the point out of that, in my opinion. Like they were unlucky, to be honest. And then in this game again, Coventry, again, the better team. And they just beat us, so that they deserved. I mean, for me, Coventry probably were the hardest team that we had to verse for the rest of the season until Southampton. So
which is a good way. Which is a good way of looking at it, really, Matt. I think if it's a good point to make. They are probably the tougher team. When you look at Sunderland and Blackburn, maybe if we get 6 points out of that, you're sort of looking at it at the end of the week and thinking, oh well, okay, maybe we're back on top a little bit, and that momentum's built up again for then those last 3 games, which is obviously going to be Middlesbrough, QPR, and Southampton, which there's not an easy game in there, really, is there? So
no, yeah, you look at the what's it called?
It's like me most streams, mate. Don't worry, it's me most streams. Yeah, it's yeah, mate. I think it's. I'll tell you what. Before you leave, Matt, give us one sort of crumb of comfort, one bit of positivity that we can lean onto, so I can go to bed a happy man tonight.
Our next 2 games are at home, and we're undefeated there, so 6 points.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah, true, mate. But Matt, listen, mate, I keep saying this to everyone, but we've had some cracking guests on tonight. If you fancy coming on next week, mate, I'd love you to come on. Just let me know. Let me know if you fancy, mate. You're getting a lot of good comments in the section as well. So it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. And yeah, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it, buddy.
Cheers. Thank you, mate.
See you, Matt. Cheers. Well, guys, there you go. That's going to be your fan phone-in. Thank you to Matt. Thank you to Sujal and all the other guests, from Will to the others as well. It's been an absolute pleasure to Matt. And yeah, thank you so much for coming on the fan phone-in, nearly an hour long. If you guys want to see this as a weekly segment, we can be doing this 100%. I enjoy doing these sorts of things. This is why I can get people on the channel. If you disagree with me, if you agree with me, we can have a convo about it 100%. And yeah, I enjoy this sort of stuff, everybody. This is the stuff I enjoy more than anything else. So if you want to see this sort of stuff, we'll get this stuff on more and more. And you, if you're in the section, you're thinking, I could do that. I could tell Connor something else, or I can agree with Connor. I can disagree with Connor. No problem. I'll see you on the next one. But guys, we're going to have 3 things. We're going to have you full time with Connor as well coming up in the next couple of days. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I'll see you on the other side. Cheers. Change things, Farker.